Welcome to the Italian Football Podcast.
Right, let's move on to the young Inter kid that everyone is talking about in the last few days. So Cesare Casadei. We know that Chelsea are in negotiations. Our friend Nizar Kinsella did a story yesterday, and they've put in a few bids for him. Inter are asking for around about 20 million
pounds.
What 20 million pounds, about 24 million euros. But we also know there is a lot of other interest in him. Arsenal, Sassuolo, some other teams as well. I mean, first of all, how good is this kid, and should Inter keep him?
Look, he was born in Ravenna in Emilia-Romagna. He started playing for Cervia, Serie D side, on the seaside of Emilia-Romagna, as in the youth team before joining Cesena. He signed for their youth team, and then in 2018 he came to Inter, and he really quickly established himself for the Primavera side, the under-19s, whilst only being 16. And he scored 15 goals last season when Inter's Primavera won the Italian championships. And Inter's Primavera these last few years has won pretty much every youth team title available to them. And he's been one of the most important players in that side. He's a central midfielder. He's rather tall. He's 6'1", 186 centimeters. He's a tall guy. He plays centrally. But what he does, for me, I've always thought he reminds me of Frank Lampard in the style that he plays.
Chelsea fans are going to love that.
Yeah, no, but he really does, because these runs from deep. I mean, the ability to time these runs from deep and being clinical in front of goal, that's his strength. And I think that's why Tuchel is so infatuated with him, despite the fact that he's not even played a single game of senior football or first team football. So he's an interesting player. He's been on everyone's radar, and he's 19 years old now, but he's played under 19 football since he was 16, and that's improved him a lot. And he's taken on every stride, taken a stride every, and shown that he's good enough for that challenge. But for me, the issue is this: there is no chance, there's no room at the inn where he plays at Inter. He's not, people say, oh, why can Roberto Gagliardini play? Yeah, but he's a defensive midfielder. Cesare Casadei is not a defensive midfielder. And to put Cesare Casadei to play as a defensive midfielder, maybe that can work one day, but I certainly wouldn't do that now. So I think it's right for Inter to either to loan him out, ideally, or to sell him with a buyback clause. But given that Inter have to make a profit from the transfer market, of net profit of sales minus purchases of plus 60 million euros, and that has to be done by the end of June 2023 when the fiscal year ends. The issue is very simple. Do you sell Milan Skriniar, Denzel Dumfries, or Cesare Casadei? You sell Cesare Casadei if you get 20 million pounds for him. Because even though if he turns out to be the next coming of Roberto Baggio, today there's no guarantees that he will become that. Whilst Milan Skriniar is one of the pillars at Inter. Denzel Dumfries he's one of the best, as people can laugh as much as they want, but there's not, about his technical ability. But look at his stats. He scores goals, he delivers, and he does well. He's one of the best, top 10 right wing backs in the world. For me, it's a no-brainer. You sell Cesare Casadei. It's the lesser of two evils, and that's what Inter have to do in the current financial predicament they're in. So I would love to see him stay, and I would love to see Inter maybe use him if they sold Denzel Dumfries to Chelsea for 40-50 million euros, and together with Pinamonti 10, 15, 20 million, that's 60-70 million euros, you're sorted. Then use Casadei as a bargaining chip to sign Singo from Torino, and then you're sorted.
Listen to the full show and all other episodes by going to patreon.com/TIFP and become a member for only $2.99 per month.